Hi everyone, this is Muhammad Amir Khan again back with another video. In this video, I'm going to explain how to create a scripted calculation view with input parameter. I'm going to demonstrate it so you'll be able to know the syntax with an example. And also I'm going to create a stored procedure using input parameter. And I'm going to call that stored procedure and demonstrate you the usage of it. All right, so let's get started. So I'm in modeling perspective now. So I have already created a scripted calculation view. So you know how to create it. Uh, so this is my scripted calculation view. So anyhow, I'll create it one more time by right clicking on it. Uh, New. I have a package Muhammad underscore 03, which I'm going to use to create a calculation view. So I need to give the calculation view name. So something like this. And here I need to make a scripted calculation view. So there is one point here. So in graphical calculation view, we have cube or dimension or blank here as categories. But in scripted calculation view, we only have one category, that is cube or blank. Okay. So we definitely need to use at least one measure. Okay. If you only have dimensions, then it will give you an error stating that you do not have any measures. So when you go to the properties, see, you don't have an option of selecting dimension. All right, so I've already created the script. So let me go back to that to save the time. So in the we have two nodes here in scripted calculation view. As you know, it have only two nodes, and in script view node we need to define all our logics. All right, so when you go to the script node, it will give you where out with followed by equal sign and followed by two dots. So we need to remove two dots and write all our script here. Okay, so I have written a simple script. So I'm selecting VBELN, that is sales orders, and I'm putting a counter one as a constant value for counter for every field, for every row or for every record. I'll have one as a counter. I'll have a new field counter underscore one which have one in it for every row. And I'm selecting from Muhammad underscore 03 schema, and table name is VP underscore 2. Let me show you what I have in it before we go further. All right, so I'll go to SQL and select star from. So I have only one column here, one field, that is Veblen, which have 11 orders, like starting from 1 and 2 and so on till 11. All right, so here I'm selecting only uh, Veblen, and I'm selecting Veblen from the table VBAP underscore 2, and I'm creating a new column called as counter underscore 1 and giving a constant value as 1. And I'm selecting the Veblen from VBAP underscore 2 with a where clause where my VBLN less than or equal to my input parameter. So at the runtime, whatever I give the value dynamically at the runtime, so that value will be stored here. So I have created an input parameter here. So as we know how to create it, just use this uh, down arrow mark which is next to this green plus button, and click on create input parameter. An input parameter editor will open. So here you need to give your input parameter name, label, and all those details like column or direct or static. So column is the value will be derived with respect to some column which with mandatory. So this input parameter value at the runtime, you want to give it mandatorily or it's like optional. So I want definitely want to give the input parameter value at the runtime. So I'll keep it as mandatory. So I'm selecting from the same view CV underscore IP3, and the reference column is weblen. So uh, it will give the value help from with the help of this reference column. So I have created an input parameter. I have used this input parameter in the where clause. So that means whatever I give it at the runtime the value for this input parameter. That value will be stored here. All right, and your weblen will be filtered, or the sales order will be filtered with respect to the condition less than or equal to, and the value will be dynamically placed here based on the input parameter value which you give at the runtime. So in the same way, I need to add the columns in the same order. So I can use a plus sign, and I can write the column names with the and along with the data type. Okay, so once you are done, so you can activate your view and you can preview the data. So let me preview the data here. Once I activate it successfully, so I have activated this view successfully, and I'm previewing the data at the runtime. See, whatever the input parameter you give, it is coming along with the star symbol. So which means definitely you need to give the input parameter. See, it's mandatory. So equal to 5 I'm giving, or 6, let's say. So enter. So what happens is, in the code, what happens is, so the input parameter value is 6, right? So to read the input parameter, it should go along with the colon and your input parameter name IP underscore weblen. All right. So I have given 6 at the runtime. So the 6 will be stored here in the where class, and you'll select the weblens and the counter as 1 from VBAP underscore 2, where your weblen is less than or equal to 6. So see what I will get it. The counter is always 1 constantly. I have constant value, and the weblen I'm getting only until 6, but not all 11. Okay. Hope this is clear. So if you have any doubts, you can put it in the comment box. I'll take it. So I have one more thing here to demonstrate, that is stored procedure. I'll go to development perspective, and I have already created a stored procedure here. So let me go to the content. So repositories. So I have created a stored procedure here. So how to create it? We need to go to our system and navigate till the fold package where I want to create the stored procedure. Right click on the package, new. I have already created one more video on how to create stored procedure and explain it very clearly. So you can also visit that video to see more and more examples on how to create stored procedure with different scenarios. However, so we can create it this way. So you have stored procedure option here, and you can click on next and give the details of file name and target schema. So target schema, and also once you finish it, you will get an editor. Okay. So however, I have opened this one. I have opened the stored procedure, which I have already created. So this is the syntax, basically how to create a stored procedure. It goes with procedure, name of path of the procedure. Till here you will get it by default. So again, you can visit my other video in which I have explained the stored procedure very clearly. So here my intention is to demonstrate the input parameter, how to use input parameter inside a stored procedure. So I need to put in variable, that is, I'm creating a parameter or a variable which will be input to my script with along with the data type. So I have created an input parameter with in keyword, IP underscore V is a variable name, followed by the data type as begin and end. Between begin and end, actually this table is already created. So I'm dropping the table and creating a new table with the same name as, again, the same select statement which you have seen in the scripted calculation view. Select VBLN into, the syntax is slightly different. So I need to select the VBALN from VBAP underscore 2 table and store this value into some variable IP underscore v. Okay, and I need to filter with this like VBALN less than or equal to IP underscore v. Okay, this is a syntax. Just be focus on it. So I'm using the filter condition VBALN here and restricting the values. Okay, less than or equal to your input parameter value. At the runtime, whatever the value you give in the input parameter, which will be stored here. Like for example, 6, how we have give it in a scripted calculation view. So it will the select statement will get executed with a where clause where your WebLens less than or equal to 6. Okay, and it will bring all the WebLens from this table VBIP underscore 2 until this condition less than or equal to 6. So it will give you all the values, WebLens values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it will put into this variable. Okay, so I'll execute this successfully here. So once I execute successfully, let me call this stored. Let me call this stored procedure. So calling this. This is how we call it. I am keeping it as like 7, for example, and call this. I'm calling this successfully. So once I call, what happens is it executes all the statement inside this state procedure, which means I'm dropping the table and I'm creating a new table with this name, with the output with the table definition is the output of the select statement. So whatever the output of the select statement is, that will be the data of your this table. So let me see what I have in this table. So select star from this table. So it will have the table values until 7. Okay. So I have WebLens until 7. Since I have called the stored procedure with the parameter in parameter input parameter 7, this 7 value will be stored or will be placed in this where clause, because we are using the dynamic filter here. We are not giving any static value at the where clause. We are giving a dynamic value IP underscore v, that is our input parameter, which we need to give at the runtime. So at the calling time, I'm giving it as a 7, and it is giving all the WebLens until 7. If I'm executing till 6, so it gives me. So basically, we are creating a new table here with the help of this output. Okay, create table as this selection. So hope this is clear how to create stored procedure or scripted calculation with the help of input parameter and use it. And I have created one more video with creating table function with input parameter. You can visit that video, and if you have any doubts or comments, if you have any feedback, you can put it in the comment box. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye.